Just looking at the technology and the impact it's having on businesses today, the future of this industry couldn't be brighter. USI's goal is to create a shared mental model around deploying technology inside of all sorts of career clusters, all sorts of industry verticals, but focusing on the aviation safety practices that allow companies to identify and find that return on investment of deploying that technology in the first place.
UAS technology in commercial construction, oil and gas, agriculture. Agriculture is going to be a massive impact. Today, agricultural drone use is growing over 24% a year. Drone adoption is just going to rapidly accelerate. I mean, there are big corporations that own major agricultural lands here, and they're going to adopt this technology because it is better, faster, cheaper. The training and certification that we provide is not just general UAS technology. It is those things, but it is also compartmentalized on specific use cases by industry.
What do you think when you see the future of drone education?
It's going to be limited by our imagination, plain and simple. There are so many aspects of it that either take over manned flight or negate the need for it. Back in the day, you had to have 20 guys go out to a plane crash incident to measure and photograph and get forensic evidence before it disappeared. One person with a drone can photogrammatically map that forensically, in whatever amount of time, depending on the size of the accident. So powerful technology. We use it in search and rescue. A good piece of the other half of this organization is National Registry for Emergency Medical Tech. So my first sergeant brings them up through the emergency piece of it. We are on the search, rescue, and evaluation. So if there is a hurricane, for instance, we go out and do damage assessment. Well, we do that with drone. I don't send kids on the ground to do that, but they go out to do the medical, the EMT piece of it. So we've combined the two into a emergency search and rescue.
What advantages have you seen compared to the traditional methods that would have been used prior to using drone technologies? How has that technology made you more efficient or mitigated risk maybe? Like what things have you seen?
So for us, we kind of have a slogan that we typically throw around. We say it's safer, it's more effective, it's cheaper, and we're getting better results or higher quality results. And so an example of that is when you look again, I'll continue to use the grain bin as the example because it's a common asset. That inspection was typically a 4-hour inspection where they had to set up a hoist or lower somebody down inside the bin. And they can only be suspended from that particular point of the bin. So they can't get up and close and personal to the wall. They can't really look underneath the roof. They're in a confined space. It's typically dark, cold, dirty, bugs. It's a bit of a hazardous environment. So now today, using like the flyability drone, hey, we're able to inspect that in 20 minutes, sometimes even within 10 minutes. So you're talking 1, 2, 3 flights in there, and you've got an extremely detailed set of data that we can hand off to the inspectors, and they can quickly determine is the asset usable or not. And then again, the data is the key component here, where it's helping leaders make decisions.
What have you seen in your experience as one of the greatest success of BVLOS flight?
I'll give you a small example, and then I'll give you a really big picture example. So we have, and I always cite this as it is by far one of my favorite use cases for the Centero, for BVLOS operations in general. But it is not by far the biggest operation that we have customers doing to date. But I think this is the example of a really powerful anecdote. So we have a county government customer. They have 18 miles of coastline. They're in Florida. Every time a hurricane rolls through, east or west coast, sand rolls out into the Atlantic. And they have to go provide reports because they want to get the sand replenished and replaced, reimbursable funds through the state. They want a check from the governor to put new sand on the beach to make sure that their beaches remain a key part of their tourism revenue. Historically, getting those sand reports, completing those surveys used to take many months, which means that their beach is impacted for many months, possibly the following fiscal year, because they didn't get the reports in time to get it into a budget appropriation or what have you. Now, that county government customer flies the beach in one flight. They're able to get their sand report in one flight that takes roughly 45 minutes.
The FAA predicts there will be more than 400,000 commercial drone pilots by 2027, plus a substantial need for crew and maintenance personnel. Drone technology is no longer limited to transportation and logistics. It's now incorporated into a wide range of industry career clusters. Empower your students with a high-tech, in-demand, career-ready skill set by partnering with USI. With over 10 years of industry experience, USI, along with hundreds of schools globally, has built an expansive network with clear pathways to industry certification, college degrees, and employment. Online, hybrid, in person. You choose which program is right for your institution. Not an expert? No problem. Partnering with USI provides a turnkey solution and access to essential resources. All you need is the internet. Are you ready to take your place as the regional, globally recognized workforce provider for this expansive technology? Careers elevated. USI, training today for tomorrow. Learn more at flyusi.org.
When you stick these drones in front of students, it's exciting, it's fun. They want to be engaged, they want to be involved, but there is a risk mitigation factor associated with it as well. Safety first, right? Teaching processes and procedures and ways to mitigate the risk associated with the technology is really, really key.
Safety is huge in the industry.
That's right. Yeah.
Safety is paramount. It's people, property, and events that you want to make sure stay secure and safe. So the FAA has done a lot to introduce people to those issues, but only when you're serving an industry do you appreciate the width and breadth of the experience you need to be successful in this industry. The 107 is a nice entry level. Okay, you kind of like getting your degree from high school. Okay, you check that block. Now the learning begins because you need to be a practical applicator, and that is a profession and an expertise that you learn over time.
When you go out into a location and you're conducting an aircraft operation there for the first time, what does that risk assessment look like? A site survey. What are you analyzing from a hazard perspective, both personnel domain, operational domain, the weather, environmental domain? What are you looking for when you get to a site for the first time? So what USI did was we created industry certifications that aligned to workforce credentials, to competency requirements, that whether you were operating in the electric utility industry or in the agricultural market or in public safety market, you understood the skill sets of what was required as a professional aviator to deploy that technology in the national airspace.
One thing I would like to call out, though, is that groups like USI and others in the industry should be proud, though, that we've never had these major catastrophic events that have always been the doom and gloom of the FAA that they've constantly talked about, and one of the reasons why Part 108 has, I think, taken so long. Yes, we've had events where the Scooper airplane got hit by a drone, or LAPD helicopter got hit by a drone, or even a Black Hawk got hit by a drone. But the great thing is that all those airplanes were able to recover, they were able to land, and we didn't have this mass casualty event that was constantly spread. And I think a lot of that is due to just how professional most drone operators are, and folks like USI keeping the industry at that standard and allowing to have that as a resource, right? So you guys provide training, you provide the instructors, you provide curriculum.
Standards, doesn't matter what industry that you're in, standards are there to improve safety and increase public trust.
We are telling industry these people are right for their company because they've gone through our program and they've been third-party validated. We're making it important to the individual and we're making it important to the potential employer. If you have drones inside your corporation, you have a flight department, whether you have commercial jets or not.
I saw this, the drone space kind of, making a charge, and wanted to see. I was interested, and USI had a great program with the U.S. Department of Defense, the Skill Bridge program that I participated in. Went through you guys boot camp, and I was amazed at the technology that was out there, that somebody could with solid training, could participate in the industry with a high level of skill and safety.
Why do you fly drones in the first place? It's either to make money, save money, or reduce hazard hours.